everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Dela-Where, where my son Ryan and I love to introduce the local community to those of us who may not as be familiar with Delaware or just want to know a little bit more about the area. And so we are so grateful today. We have Joe and Candice from Clear Space Theater. And if you guys have not been to Clear Space Theater in the area or looked up their shows, you are truly missing a gem of Delaware. So without further ado, we will just get right into it. And Joe, do you want to tell us how you got here and your part with Clear Space Theater?
Sure. So I've been here at Clear Space in Delaware for a little over 2 years now. I've had a career lots of places around the country, was formerly running a theater specifically for youth and families in St. Louis, Missouri. So I grew up in North Jersey, but it was certainly a big jump from St. Louis back east for this. But I was so drawn to the opportunity at Clear Space. It's such an incredible company and nestled inside of such a supportive and wonderful community that it felt like a great opportunity, especially at this moment in Clear Space's sort of life cycle. We're going into our 22nd season this year. And so I got here for the 20th season, and you could tell with any organization, after you've found your groove, you then really start to figure out how you want to grow and become from, whatever that plateau might have been. And so right now, what's exciting at Clear Space, in addition to the work that's on our stage and everything we do with the young people in our Arts Institute, is that we're primed to be building a new performing arts center here in Sussex County.
That's awesome.
Hopefully 5 or so years. It takes a minute to check everyone's couch cushions. But I was very much drawn to that opportunity to build something that's going to last and make an impact here. And to be able to bring great theater to this community, both leading up to and long after, making that happen for everyone. So that's kind of how I got here.
Well, that's so interesting, because one of my first introductions to Clear Space Theater is I had 2 friends up in Wilmington who both had children that were in the performing arts and were starting to travel. And they were both in, I think it was Chicago, production at Clear Space. And so I got to see, many years after I knew them as small children, both of them perform here, and they were like traveling. So I was like, oh my gosh, right here, like in our little town. So it's really great. And it's great to hear that it's growing. Candice, what brought you here?
So I grew up coming to visit Rehoboth Beach a lot when I was, I guess from like 10 years old up. So I always fell in love with the area as a child. I went to college and studied theater, and I started out as a performer and everything. And so it kind of led me all around the country and everything. And I met my husband through that. And then, it was kind of happenstance when him and I had settled down, and we were actually living in northern Delaware up in Wilmington.
Oh, yeah.
And I had told him about this amazing Sussex County and everything in Rehoboth. And they were auditioning for a show that it's called Company. It's by Stephen Sondheim. At the time, it wasn't really produced often. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and audition for this. And I ended up getting the role. And it kind of started there that my involvement in Clear Space just kind of evolved. I started out as a performer and then kind of moved into a creative team position for about 10 years.
Wow.
And then last year, I joined the team as company manager, officially in June. And then that evolved into taking on an interim creative director in September. So
wow,
it's
a woman of many talents.
I'm proud to be a woman of many talents.
That's awesome.
Do you still do some of the performances?
When the time calls for it. Right now, my plate is a little full with the creative team and the administrative end of things. Right. I wouldn't say no, I wouldn't do it, but I definitely found my calling and my love of it here at Clear Space for creative team work, because I think that Clear Space really fostered a safe space to really develop my talents there and
take a little risk and do something different.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really nice so I wouldn't rule it out, but it actually has happened. I did have to go on over the summer.
She's everybody's extra.
I always the understudy, never the lead, I guess. But I directed and choreographed our production of Hairspray this summer, and happenstance, one of our leads got taken out to injured themselves.
Oh, geez.
During Act One.
During Act One.
Oops.
During Act One, and it was a bit of a what do we do kind of situation. It was a very theater moment, and somehow or another, the best option was for me to step in. So during intermission, Joe went out. It was so much teamwork happening. Joe went out and kind of announced that it was happening, and I think in so many words, asked for a lot of grace from the audience. and then I literally put on his costume. It was a male role.
It was a male role.
It was a male role.
Okay.
Playing a female role. It's very
a male role in
complicated.
drag. If you've seen
Yes.
Hairspray, it was the John Travolta role from the movie.
Yes. Okay.
So he took off his dress, put it on me. It was a wild night, and the audience ended up loving it. They were very lovely, and for what I lacked in efficiency, I made up for in charisma. And so to say that I'm not going to perform.
So is this
I
on
did.
YouTube? Because now I have to go see it.
You know what? The amount of people that have stopped me in Rehoboth and said that they were there. I don't think the maths because we have 180 seats, and I swear we're getting up there with the number of people that were there that night.
Approximately 550.
Yeah. So there might not be a bootleg, but there are a lot of people in Sussex County that can tell you about that night. I think
That sounds like one of those beautiful moments. That's probably everybody gave you grace and you gave them grace, and we just all worked together.
it was very much a we are all in this together moment.
That is awesome. And did I see that your husband also works at Clear Space?
He does. Yes,
Okay.
he's our production manager.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Well, it looks like you have a great team. I
Yes,
was looking online
absolutely.
and studying a
Yes.
little bit. So, so talk to us a little bit about this year coming up. Obviously, you're growing, but what are some of the most exciting? I mean, I'm sure they're all going to be exciting, but you do kids programs and you do a lot of musical performances. And so what are your exciting ones coming up that you would like to talk about?
Well, I think what's wonderful about Clear Space is we do serve everyone in our season. So just like you said, we have great programs for youth and families. In our main stage programming, we always do a mix of sort of exciting new work that maybe you might not have heard of before, alongside incredible classics that we kind of bring fresh life to. So what's coming up in the season for the rest of this year, we have 42nd Street. After 42nd Street, we have a youth production of Anastasia with the teens from our Arts Institute.
Very cool.
In May, we're doing, for the first time, a rep of 2 productions in the spring. We usually do a big rep in the summer, which we're still doing. But in the spring, we're doing the musical Dear Evan Hansen and the play The Legend of Georgia McBride for all of May. And then we go deep into rehearsals for 3 shows that will run simultaneously all summer.
Oh, wow.
So when you if you come to Rehoboth, you come to Sussex County in the summer, even if you're just here to visit for a week, in a single week, you can see all 3 productions, because the way we run the calendar, it's two nights one show, the next 2 nights a different show, the next 2 nights a different show, and then on the weekend we'll have a cabaret where we're bringing in artists from somewhere else, across the country to do something fantastic. So this summer, those shows are the Cher Show, which is this sort of fun jukebox biopic musical about Cher. We've got I can do this. Mean Girls, thank you. based on the movie that's been now made into a musical, and then we've got the stage musical version of Pretty Woman, and the score for that's written by, of all people, Bryan Adams.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
really really fun mix in the summer, and then
That sounds awesome.
We take a little bit of a break for a couple weeks once the
Why,
summer
you need to
ends.
sleep or something?
Someone
Sleeps for
does.
the week. It's fine. I don't think we have in a very long time. Actually.
But then we'll be doing Rocky Horror Show in
fun.
October, which is kind of perfect around Halloween. We've got another youth production in November. It's a show called 13 the Musical, and it's about 13-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
It's by Jason Robert Brown, and it's a great, wonderful show, and that'll be all performed by young people in our Arts Institute. And then over the holidays, we're doing the stage musical of A Christmas Story.
Oh, nice.
So, Ralphie.
Ralphie.
Yes, brought to life on stage with lots of singing and dancing. So
amazing.
it's a fun mix all year long. We actually are the most prolific producer of professional theater in the entire state.
Wow.
We just happen to have
That's
a
impressive.
nice little 170 seat house. So we're very compact and intimate. But over the course of the year, we'll do over 180 performances.
That's
which is-
amazing.
yeah.
Now, what does that look like for rehearsals? Because you have 3 different shows going on for the summer,
Yeah.
and you have to pack all that rehearsal into
We do. So not only do we perform the shows all at the same time, we're also rehearsing them all at the same time. So the month of June is wild. That's the best way I can describe it. We usually have a core group of artists that are in all three shows. So what in the past, what we have done, it'll be morning is dedicated to one show, afternoon is dedicated to another show, evening is dedicated to the third show.
Wow.
So you are...
It's like its own choreography.
It really is. It really is. So you have all that. You are just kind of... It really is just that you have to just jump in and just embrace the chaos.
Yeah.
And it is set up that we are all we're a team. We're going to get through this. It is a month of this. And then the show's open and you get your daytimes and your afternoons to enjoy Sussex County and Rehoboth Beach and all the beautiful things we have to offer.
As long as you don't get sunburned before you go on stage.
Yes, please take SPF is your best friend. Please do that. But it is crazy. It's logistically, it's very intricate as far as how it's planned and everything, because one of the reasons why we do need this new building that is coming up is that we're only working with one room. So, we really have to organize, like, okay, rehearsals are going on at this time, set is getting built at this time, costumes have to be worked out somewhere else, and dressing rooms, have we gotten the dressing room set up and things like that. So it's very much I would never say logistical nightmare, because that implies that it's not doable.
Right.
And I think it's a great reflection of the artists that we engage each summer. That we cast a mix of great local professional artists and artists from across the country each year. And if you think about it, to be able to absorb 3 shows, the music, the scene work, the choreography, all of that, like it's to take that all in and then turn it into that quickly a great final product means that team is working so hard, but is also coming in with such a high level of skill. We're in the midst of casting for the summer. We finished casting up until May or so, and it's a rolling process, but we saw nearly 1,500 people from across the country in Rehoboth, in DC, in New York, and through virtual submissions for roles this year. And so
1,500.
Yes, and we'll be casting...
It's like the size of a town here.
20, yeah. That is actually bigger than Dewey Beach. But we'll have, 20 or so, in the summer season. So it's, the folks that are showing up are incredibly talented, and it's incredibly competitive.
Yes.
So
that's really exciting, though, to think that many people, know about little tiny Delaware and Clear Space Theater, but really want to come here and participate in the controlled chaos. We'll call it controlled chaos.
I love controlled
organized chaos too.
Yeah.
Well, you do choreography, so it's just a different type of choreography.
Exactly. That's why I always my brain has always been programmed for choreography, so that's why I feel like I'm a good planner and organizer, because it's just instead of movement, it's just on paper.
You have this many 8 counts of the month.
Yes.
So you said you have a core group that kind of does all 3 shows. So when you're auditioning or when you're casting them, do they have to audition for all 3 of those roles?
Yes. Well, they audition for all 3 productions, and what we try to do is to create tracks whereby no one artist is completely overloaded, right? You might be talented enough to have the lead in all 3 shows.
Right.
However, if you had the lead in all 3 shows, what's going on in your brain could quickly become mush.
Right.
What that means, though, is everyone in the summer just about has a leading role in one of the shows. So when you come and see, this past summer, we did Hairspray, Rent, and Beautiful, the Carole King musical. And the person who was playing Carole King, gave this knockout, incredible performance in that show, was in the ensemble of the other 2.
Right.
And that everyone in that ensemble could step into a leading role if necessary, because they're all fully equipped.
Right.
But yeah, we're in the callback process right now. If you have auditioned for us and there's a role you're being considered for, odds are you're being asked to look at some music and some sides from more than one show.
Right.
Because, we might not know at this stage, are you playing Tracy Turnblatt in Hairspray, or are you the cover for Tracy and you're going to be playing this lead in this other show instead?
Right.
So it is if the schedule is like a little Tetris game, so is casting, a little Tetris game.
So
that's a great way. That was so visual for me.
Do you hear the song? What was going on?
And do you have people that are coming back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's what I think is wonderful. One, our local artists, of course, are coming back consistently. But when you look sort of summer after summer, and even outside the summer with folks that we're bringing in from other parts of the country, you're going to see some familiar faces. And sometimes it's a matter of like, is this role the right fit for this person at this time, or will the next role be the right fit? But I this year for auditions, we definitely saw quite a few people who had been in the season last year.
Yeah, we definitely do. I think it's a good testament to the community that Clear Space is, that we built there, that we do have actors that return. We have creative team members that return, that, they want to come back and they love the theater, but they also love the area.
Right.
They love what it has to offer.
It's a very desirable place to be for the summer.
Yes.
So to have a 14-week contract, and you go through those 4 weeks of organized chaos.
Organized chaos, yeah.
And then you get to enjoy the summers.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
enjoy the daytime.
Right,
in July.
right, yeah.
So where do they all stay when you bring in some people?
So we do provide housing for our out-of-town artists, and it's usually provided very generously from patrons and donors of the theater.
Oh, neat.
And so they'll host our families. We have had situations in the past where somebody might donate, say, oh, I have this house and they can stay there. We currently do have, we have a rather large cast right now for 42nd Street. And we had a board member that donated a house that they had that it's off season. So they were like, he was like, hey, you can have this. I do rent it out, but it's off season. Here's this house, and I was able to put 7 actors in it.
Wow.
So we're very fortunate that we get that. But then we also have, so there's that portion, but there's also, we have another wonderful patrons and donors to the theater, that they have a house and they have an extra sort of little in-law suite. And we have 2 actors that are staying there right now. And it was actually great. They got here on 2 days ago, I guess. They arrived, and the next day the host family took them out for like a tour of Rehoboth.
Oh, nice.
And everything. So it's they almost kind of like they were taking them around town and showing them all places to go to and everything. And so we provide housing. It's just kind of what it looks like, whether it's we're able to give them a house that has been donated to us, or they stay with a host family, or something.
And if you're listening to this podcast and you have a accessory dwelling
Always
unit of any
Look at
kind, we would love to chat.
Yes, please do. We are always looking for new host families, and if you talk to any of our host families, a lot of what's really cool about it is that when you're hosting these artists, you don't know who you're hosting and what they're going to go on to do.
Right.
We've had several artists who have gone on to have insanely wonderful careers in regional theater across America and internationally, but then some of them have gone on to do cruise ships. Some of them gone on to do national tours, and then we've had actors that have gone on to Broadway. Wow. And a lot of our host families take a great pride. Like, I housed that person.
I knew them when.
And now you get to go to New York and go see them in a Broadway show. And so it's really, it's kind of, I know a lot of our host families really enjoy that perk where they're getting to know someone that his career is really just starting off.
And you have no idea what they're going to do or
exactly
how far they're going to go.
Exactly. You can be a part of their story.
So you've talked about the youth programs that you do. Give us a little bit more history of that and what's entailed.
Sure. I'll kick that off.
You can, yeah. I'll fill in the blanks.
Thanks. So what's really wonderful is Clear Space, when it was founded in 2004, for the first year, it was entirely focused on education.
Oh, okay.
We didn't produce our first show until our second year. And so that piece of theater education has been sort of central to our mission from the very, very beginning. At the start, we did a lot of work with sort of pre-professional actors that were in the area to try to build up the community a little bit. But for the last easily 15, 18 years, a huge portion of our work has been tied to youth education because we know how critical those skills are to help young people to develop, right? By participating in theater, you build all of this sort of social emotional learning skills. You are able to understand difference. You're able to build empathy. You're able to have a different kind of creative thinking and critical thinking. It's that same teamwork concept that you get from doing sports, right? You get all of that kind of mixed into one. So We've got programs right now that start at age 3.
Oh, wow.
With a program called Babies on Broadway. And that's very much about learning how to move in your body and understand, what does rhythm look like? We're not teaching them how to do a ball change.
They will not be doing the Cher Show.
They will not be doing the Cher Show, the 3-year-olds.
Yeah, they will not.
But the programs continue all the way through high school, and then we have programs for retired adults as well.
Oh, neat.
Because there's a really big movement that we see in this part of the state in particular to kind of better create what folks call blue zones, which are spaces where, you can retire and thrive.
Right.
And part of that is connected to being able to build community and combat isolation. So through our programs for retired adults, people are able to connect over kind of a shared love of theater. And one of the programs is almost like fantasy football, but for theater. So, you get to spend 12 weeks learning a show. It's an abridged show, but the folks learn a show and then they get to perform this sort of 60-minute on books. You have to memorize the lines with very limited choreography, but you get to do a show just like you were, a professional artist. And the community that's built around that program, which is called Legends, is really sweet and so beautiful. And it's not just serving a great purpose when it comes to helping people to grow as artists. It's serving a great purpose in helping our community to become a richer, healthier, more sustainable place for everyone.
Well, it really is such a big part of our community is the retirement community, and we talk about that a lot. Being in real estate, we have a lot of retirees, and again, they always ask, what do I do when I come down and retire? And you do want to keep them from isolation and maybe try something different that they wish they had when they were working. They didn't have time to do it, or so that's fantastic. That I know you won't have to take care of me, Ryan.
Drop her off at Clear Space Theater.
Just drop her off at Clear Space.
It's like mommy daycare.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that sounds fantastic. And are you in the high schools here, or how do you get your youth? Is it through camps?
So it's go for it.
No. We hold classes throughout the year. We have we do break it down into semesters. We have a spring semester and a fall semester. We offer camps in the evening, or classes in the evening.
Okay.
Throughout those 2 different semesters, and that is just you register and you come in. So we have Broadway Bound, which is for grades 1st through 8th. And that runs on Tuesday evenings, and that focuses on the 3 main trifectas of music theater, and it's singing, acting, and dancing. And so they're taking class in that, and then that culminates in sort of a performance at the end of the semester where they show what they've done. We have a spotlight program, which Joe touched on for a second, which was our youth performances, which, for example, Anastasia, which will be coming up in April, and then 13 the musical, which is in the fall. Those are also approached as classes as well. So they audition to get into them, but it is very much a learning environment of putting the performance together. Within that, we have supplemental classes as well, where we have this spring on Saturdays, we have a dance technique class that runs that, if you're doing Spotlight, if you're doing Anastasia, you take the companion course, you do the dance courses and everything. So we have that. And then there are our camps during the summer, which is, I think it serves so many purposes. It gives, we have a lot of families that come on vacation here, but the kids go to camp while they're here on vacation.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So they'll come in and they'll do the vacation. And it's, the camps are focused on, they'll do a show at the end of the week and everything. So it's 4 days and they're putting on a
that's
show.
quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's,
If you think it's hard for the summer artist doing the 3 musicals,
it's nothing compared to what the 5-year-olds are doing.
We did what it was Susical, which was like a 30-minute, 40-minute version of
cute.
Susical, and they had been in camp for 4 days, and on the 5th day, there was a show.
I mean, there's a show. They were memorized. There's choreography, and they do it twice. So it's really quite lovely and really wonderful, and
they probably have a blast doing it.
They do.
The enthusiasm for the younger ages.
Yes.
They don't know that it's too hard.
There's something quite lovely. If you don't tell them how difficult it is, they would never know.
They wouldn't know.
They're like, of course I could.
It's only the director knowing how hard it is.
Yeah, we're the only ones sweating over here. So we do. So that's how we kind of have kids come. How the youth kind of enters in. It's through our camps.
Do you find a lot of them kind of graduate and then come back as
We've had a couple that kind of graduate and they come back as art, like you know, if they continue on the path and doing it as a professional career, yes. But we have a group of seniors right now who they grew up and they did those classes on Tuesday evenings, and then they started getting roles and doing the spotlight, the spotlight program that we have, and now. We have one of them is actually in 42nd Street coming up
so
now.
Cool. So they grew up together kind of doing this.
Yeah, and you get to watch them grow and watch them succeed. Like a lot of them will be part of their journey to pick a college, you know, that they're like getting ready. They're going and doing their auditions for college and everything. So we do have a decent amount of children that we see grow up through our program and then go on to college, and sometimes they come back. Sometimes we're a part of their high school story, and we just get to watch what they do out and beyond. So
it's a really nurturing environment, I think, and I think it's a testament to sort of how meaningful the experience is. That even if they don't go on to careers in theater, they'll still come back. Right. We'll see them in the audience. We'll see them visiting family. All of that, and you know, it's the kids who are in these programs sometimes are coming from very far afield, which I think is also a testament to the strength of the program, that parents recognize that. So we have young people who come from as far south as Berlin, Maryland, and we have one family that comes all the way down from Philadelphia.
Oh wow! Okay.
And you know, and they're
trip.
But they're looking around at what's available where they are, and they're saying this program in Rehoboth Beach is stronger than what I can get in my backyard. So
that's incredible.
My kids are committed. They care. They want this, and I'm gonna make that 4-hour round trip drive just to bring them on in, because this is important to them. So
that's really that is really a testament to what you are creating and have created. And so you have a big new future. I've heard it's growing. You talked about some growth plans. Did you want to expand on any of that? Are you allowed, or is it secret?
It's mostly not secret.
Mostly not.
In fact, send money.
At a very high level, right now in the space that we're in, we're bursting at the seams. So we seat 170. For a number of years we would do 13 productions a year, but we recognized going into this year that it was really important for us to make room for more audience. So we've shifted to doing 11 productions this year so that we can run the shows longer. Because if you do the math, there are only so many weeks in the year, and if you're running a 4-week run of shows and you have to also rehearse, 11's about the limit. And in the summer,
because you're consistently sold out.
Yes, which we're very grateful to the community for their support and their enthusiasm for what we do. And so this year is exciting because while we've been consistently sold out for these last 2 years, for just about every performance and every show, we now have full additional weeks. So we basically added, for a number of our productions, a little over 36% additional capacity by making these runs even longer. So we've got room for so many more people. So earlier this year, we were running Noises Off, and that slot each year is usually 3 weeks. This year, because it's running 4 weeks, we will have seen more people than we've ever seen for a winter show, because we just were able to make more room with more shows, which is wonderful. And that's been really helpful for us, especially around our subscription base, which has been growing dramatically. So in 2023, we had 291 subscribers, and this year we have 1,032.
Oh my God! That's a little bit.
And I think that's just a testament to how engaged our community is in wanting to participate in great live
and you
theater.
want to be able to give your subscribers the ability to see the show, because you get that many people, and then you realize, wait.
And to be able to,
like you said before, the math doesn't math.
Right.
And to see the shows in good seats, not that there's a bad seat in the house. We only seat 170, but there comes a point where you feel bad when someone's buying the furthest away from everyone's seat, because that's all that's left. So so that's one way we've already been growing. As we look ahead to next year, we're very excited. We've received some sort of funding to help bridge us from now until the new building from the Longwood Foundation. That's going to allow us to grow our capacity further before the new building really gives us the capacity that the community needs. So in 2027, we'll be launching a satellite black box space. So we'll be having our existing main stage at 20 Baltimore Avenue. We can't say where the satellite black box is yet, but
that is secret.
That part is secret.
Yeah. But we'll have a satellite black box space. We'll be able to have shows on our main stage run even longer and run productions at the same time. And that's going to mirror what'll happen in our new facility when it's built, because the new Performing Arts Center will have about a 300-seat main stage and about a 100-seat black box, so that over the course of the year, we'll be able to have shows of all scale and sizes running at the same time, and really sort of serve the community at our fullest potential. So that's sort of the near term. The long term, we worked out a very wonderful arrangement with the city of Rehoboth Beach to be able to take on a $1 a year lease on a parcel that is city owned. That's just one block off of Rehoboth Avenue at 11 Christian Street.
Oh, nice.
It's the current home of the Cape Henlopen Senior Center, but the Cape Henlopen Senior Center was gifted land just outside the city of Rehoboth Beach on Hebron Road. So they're going to be moving there in the next few years, which means that land is going to become available. And the city has worked out this arrangement. It's a $7.2 million parcel. So the fact that they're giving us a 50-year lease for $1 a year and making it possible for us to build on that land is incredibly generous, and we're humbled at this opportunity to be able to serve the community more meaningfully through this. But there'll be a significant capital campaign in the years to come.
I can only imagine,
because it's building a performing arts center is about as expensive as building a hospital.
Yeah, well, all the acoustics and all the the things you have to consider.
And the open the thing that people don't think about is the open span, right? So the where the stage sits, right? You can't have any
pillars.
Beams. You can't have any pillars, right? So you have to have
people peering behind.
Right.
Partially obstructed.
The entire theater is partially obstructed. Yeah.
So in order to build that properly, you've got to have so much proper support underground, right? You've got to figure out how to make everything sort of span so that you can have the hall you need, and then add all the acoustical pieces in and all the equipment, and perhaps have enough bathrooms. All of those things.
What a great
that are
idea.
important.
just a little more planning for you guys.
Right. Yes. So, but it's exciting, and we hope it'll become a postcard for the region. We hope it'll be a reason for people to want to relocate to this part of the country, because it will be part of the landscape in a way that it will help, I think, folks recognize that while coastal Delaware is often called, a culinary coast, we're just as much a cultural coast. And what Sussex County, up until this project, has lacked, for better or for worse, there's not a single purpose-built performing arts center in the county. So whether it's us, whether it's any of the community theaters, whether it's music venues, they're almost all in converted spaces.
Right.
So to be able to put a facility like this online for our community and say, if you live here in coastal Delaware, you should have the same quality of resources that you would expect to get seeing theater in DC, in Philadelphia, in New York, in Baltimore, and anywhere else you might be coming from.
I still love the idea, though, because I'm assuming it will be a little bit more intimate than some of the theaters that I've been to in Philly,
Yes.
And I think about the really amazing Broadway experiences I've had, and it's been at the more intimate theaters, not the gigundo, theaters, which I can only envision that this in Rehoboth is going to be. So you're going to have the same personal feel of the theater, but get the performances of a lifetime that you can come see, which is really cool.
I think it'll just open up the facility being built, again, being purpose built. We'll be able to do so much more than, we are currently in a converted church.
Right.
And it makes things difficult when, the building was not built to hold lighting instruments and it wasn't built to do all of that. And so I think the area needs it. I do. It is such a saturated arts town and county and everything that I think that it's amazing that it hasn't happened. Right. So I think it'll allow us to do so much, but still keep that. Something that I do love about, even though I was just saying, oh my gosh, it's in a church and everything, it did lend itself to creating such an intimate experience that even me as a choreographer and director, I love doing stuff in it because you can do stuff that you couldn't do in, like you were saying, those big Mega Million, 1,000 people in the audience sort of thing. You can do so much with it. But, even just such a small increase of adding in 130 more seats and a space that's made to have 130 more seats, you're not losing the intimacy. I think you're just gaining the ability to do more.
Right.
And
keep the vibe and expand the effort.
yes,
kind of thing.
exactly.
That's awesome. Well, it's very clear that both of you are very passionate about what you do, which really is exciting. And everybody needs to become a subscriber. Let's see if we can get them to 2,000. See what happens then.
Now, outside of Clear Space, what are your favorite things to do around the area?
Ooh. Well, you were just saying about how it's such a culinary. I love the restaurants in the area. Drift restaurant on Baltimore, which is 2 blocks away, is my favorite restaurant in Rehoboth, period.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I love, my husband and I both fancy ourselves as foodies. If I actually met an actual foodie, I would kowtow to them. But no, I love going. I think we have such a great culinary presence here. Yeah. I love going to the other theaters in the area. I think I know that's kind of, silly to say, like, what outside of theater do you like to do? But when I'm not in Clear Space, I love going to all the theaters that are here, because we have so many in the area, with Second Street and Possum Point and Milton Theater. There's so many good, wonderful theaters in the area, and they don't just do theater, they have other music venues and stuff like that I love going there. I think that we're all stronger when everyone is strong, so I love supporting other theaters as well. There's obviously the beach that I don't get to see the Atlantic as much as I would like to.
Happens to all of us when we live here.
I'm noticing that. I'm like, wow, I saw it a lot more when I got to visit here as a child.
That's right.
I relocated here, and poof, she went away. But yeah, so those are some of my favorite things to do around here.
And I'll echo some of what you said. I love getting to see the work that our peers do, whether it's theater, whether it's live music. I know you've had Mercer from the Listening Booth on before. Yep. Great place to hear music. Freeman Stage is a great place to hear music. We're actually, each year, as long as weather doesn't get in the way,
yes.
We tour to Freeman Stage. So this year we'll actually have our production of Mean Girls for one night be at
neat.
Freeman Stage, which will be a lot of fun. August the 19th for that. I love all the restaurants. I'm a huge advocate for Baltimore Avenue in Rehoboth, because not just are we there, it's not just about us, but there's so many great places. You've got Cafe Azafran, you have Ava's, you have Drift, you've got the Pines, you've got just barely off of on First, you've got Bodie, you've got the great hot dog place. There's just so much.
Doggy sounds so good.
There's great little places to grab and go.
We'll have to try those on National Hot Dog Day.
Oh my gosh, Doggy Style right on First. It's great.
And they also make great empanadas. I don't fully understand.
What is the connection there?
Yes, the owner is from Venezuela, and
never heard of a hot dog empanada.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't turn it down though if it was given to me.
There's also these great grab and goes you can go to. There's a new spot called Flora and Fauna that's right on Baltimore that has great cheeses and hummus and light sandwiches. You go to Lori's Cafe when they're open seasonally, great sandwiches. And at the end of Baltimore, just changed names, so it's called Pazzo now, and it used to be Frank and Louie's.
Okay.
But it's all this great Italian delicacies that Frank and Louie's used to have, but they're open, I think, now basically year round. Just some days of the week they're not because of the off season. But the other thing I love too in Rehoboth is there are so many great weekend events.
Yeah.
So you've got the polar bear plunge. You get all of these crawls, and some of the crawls are more themed around food than others. But you get your chili crawl and your gumbo crawl and the chocolate crawl, and then there's the margarita crawl.
Those are the true crawls.
Yes, you are crawling.
And then it's the Mrs. Roper Romper crawl.
Yes, I love that.
Really is not about food at all.
But the costumes are fantastic.
I
love that those Facebook posts.
You cannot find anyone because everyone looks the same.
That's awesome.
I think that was a testament, why my family loved vacationing here so much when I was a child, was because there was something for children, there was something for the adults to do, there was stuff for us to do as a family,
right?
And it was also a very safe space as well, a very open-minded location that. It was somewhere where my family felt safe, but also felt like we could do things besides just, and I'm not knocking, I love going to the boardwalk and having French fries, but there was things beyond that
Other than
that they could do. And I think that's
unique experiences that
exactly
yeah.
that's I think just such a testament to that.
Yeah, and I would give a shout out to Lewis as well, because we're all it's like sister cities,
Right.
We're neighbors.
We're neighbors.
But what I love is like Rehoboth has all of this sort of energy, and you can go to Lewis and you can just sort of relax as well. You can relax in Rehoboth too, but like
it's a different vibe.
It's a very different vibe. But you go to the campus at the historical, center there, and you see all these great, beautiful old buildings going back hundreds of years. They've got that little tavern where they, it's like a tiny version of Colonial Williamsburg, where folks are dressed up and they're serving whatever grog was served in the 1700s, but it's charming.
The grog crawl.
Yes, exactly.
You're onto something. I think that
We will start it next year.
tell the Capital campaign about that.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being on. This was an absolute blast. I learned a lot. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for being a part of our community, and thanks for helping bring wonderful entertainment and great things and great people to our area. And look forward to seeing you producing on stage, and hopefully we'll see you up there this year.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We will be back shortly.
Whether you're looking to purchase your perfect beach getaway or retirement home, or it's time to sell your current home, the Real McCoy Group of Caldwell Banker Realty is ready to make your dreams a reality. Visit therealmccoygroup.com for more details. Find your happy place with the Real McCoy Group.